All right, guys. So, as the American heroes who were killed in Afghanistan come back home, I can tell you guys, it is an incredibly sad time in America. Now, I've been traveling a little bit, and all across the country, guys, I'm seeing the flag be flown at half staff in memory and honor of our slain heroes. I'm seeing pictures all over the place. Some of whom were younger than me. Okay, some of them, they weren't even 21 yet. Okay, 20 years old. I mean, just getting started at life. Life really hadn't started for a lot of these heroes, and that's the sad part, man. Just like, guys, you just never know the last day or the hour we have on this earth, and again, that's what makes it so tragic. Okay, that you just don't know when your time is up, and a lot of these heroes, their time was so short. Like it's tragic, man, to think about. It really is. And I'm going to include a list of names in the description of all the Marines and U.S. service members who lost their lives in that attack. Now, what's been incredibly sad is to listen to the stories from family and them grieving, right? In particular, we have a couple of families here who have spoken out about this, okay, and who have expressed a lot of disappointment in Joe Biden, right? I mean, when expressing their grief, they're essentially saying that they feel that Joe Biden had turned his back on them, right? And that, this was his fault, right? And this is a time where a lot of people are looking for accountability. Now, the first parent I want you guys to listen to is the mother of U.S. Marine Rylee McCollum, whom lost his life in Kabul. And I want you guys to hear what she has to say regarding the situation.
I'm going to take this call. I'm going to start with calls here. Kathy, Colorado, you're on the Will Count Majority. Hello.
Hey, my son was one of the Marines that died yesterday. And to listen to that. Sorry, I'm on the radio.
No. Go ahead.
My son was one of the Marines that died yesterday. 20 years and 6 months old, getting ready to come home from freaking Jordan to be with his wife to watch the birth of his son. And that feckless, dementia-ridden piece of crap just sent my son to die. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning to Marines at my door telling me my son was dead. So to have her on right before me and listen to that piece of crap talk about diplomatic crap with freaking Taliban terrorists who just freaking blew up my son and know nothing, to not say anything about, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the families. So my son is gone. My name is Kathy McCollum. My son was Rylee James McCollum. You can check it out. His wife, she might not want me to say her name. They just got married on February 14th, and they're expecting a baby on September 26th. And I just couldn't sit by idly, because I think I need to just process through anger instead of tears. And so this is how I'm going to do it. And Laura Bobert's coming to my house tomorrow. My representative will be at my house tomorrow, and we'll speak, and hopefully she'll be able to convey my message to the rest of the United States. That this was, she said, your son did not die in vain, but guess what? My son did die in vain. This was an unnecessary debacle that could have been handled properly. They had months and months to remove everyone from Afghanistan, and they chose not to. And so they sent in freaking, 6,000 troops? And my son, through the laws of statistics, my son was one of the ones who just got blown up in a freaking terrorist bomb yesterday. So I know you'll check it out, and that's fine. Instead of grieving and crying, I'm just getting mad.
All right, guys. So obviously, as you can hear that, like I can only imagine, again, waking up, to a knock at the door and having Marines show up to your door to tell you that, your son, has passed away, that he's lost his life. So I only can imagine the pain that she's going through. Obviously, it's very terrible. And again, it's painstaking to hear this stuff, guys. And I mean, there was another father of a slain Marine who came out and just, say the same thing that she said, that, they felt like Biden has turned his back on the soldiers, right? And on our U.S. military members. So let's read here. The father of a U.S. Marine who was killed in the suicide bombing at Kabal's airport says President Biden turned his back on his son. Steve Nicole told the Daily Beast that he found out his son Kareem Nicole was killed in the attack when Marines arrived at his home to deliver the news around 7:15 p.m. Thursday morning. Again, similar situation as the last parent. He told a news outlet that he is still in shock about what transpired. Quote, "I haven't gone to bed all night," Steve Nicole said. "I'm still in shock, and I haven't been able to grasp everything that is going on." Again, I can only imagine. He told the Daily Beast that he wants to respect the office of the president, but feels Biden let his son down. "They let my son over there as a paper pusher and then had the Taliban outside providing security," he said. "I blame my own military leaders. Biden turned his back on him." That's it. Okay. So, yes, guys, I mean, that is incredibly sad. And again, like I said, I am praying for the families that lost loved ones, and also our current military members that are still over there, as the Biden administration and our intelligence has indicated that these attacks could be likely to continue. And I'm praying that we don't lose any more lives in this evacuation process. Now, these parents and the sons and daughters that they lost in Afghanistan are the only people feeling like Biden turned his back on them. In fact, Biden seems to be turning his back on the media as well when it comes to the Afghanistan situation. Take a look.
Commissioner, I really think it all works. I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan.
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now.
Can you see if there's still an acute
Okay.
risk?
Okay, so there is President Biden there at FEMA headquarters in D.C.
All right, guys, so there's Biden turning his back on the media, right? Refusing to answer questions, walking away, okay? Turning his back in a similar way that probably a lot of these parents feel right now in regards to how Biden has handled this whole Afghanistan situation in regards to our troops, right? And this is why they're laying blame on him, okay? They're talking about him. However, of course, you're going to have certain Republicans that, despite all this, blame being pushed on Biden, they're going to try to come out here and shift the conversation, not necessarily away from blaming Biden, but also going to try to find a way to blame Trump as well. Take a look.
Should the U.S. stay? Should there be a U.S. military presence in the Kabul airport until every American citizen and legal permanent resident and Afghan SIV applicant is gone, even if that means service members staying for weeks or months? And of course, there's this very real possibility of more American casualties.
Leaving Americans behind and leaving our Afghan friends behind who've worked with us would put upon us and will put upon us a moral stain. And this is the result of very ineffective decisions, terrible decisions made by the prior administration and by the current administration. This did not have to happen. It was preventable. And let me note, that's very different than the military. Our military came in at the very last moment and has performed admirably, as far as I can tell, to move people out as quickly as possible. But we didn't have to be in this rush circumstance with terrorists breathing down our neck. But it's really the responsibility of the prior administration and this administration that has caused this crisis to be upon us and has led to what is, without question, a humanitarian and foreign policy tragedy.
But this is the situation we're in, regardless of how we got here. And there is this very real trade-off that we were talking about on my show during the week and also here before the terrorist attack. The risk of keeping American service members there is what happened Thursday. So if we stay there until no American and no Afghan SIV applicant is left behind, we risk more events like Thursday.
Yeah, but Jake, if you focus on, gosh, what should we do right now? Recognize that we're in the position we're in right now because of terrible decisions made by two administrations. One, the Trump administration negotiating directly with the Taliban, getting ready to invite them to Camp David, opening up a prison of 5,000 Taliban and probably ISIS-K individuals and letting them free. I mean, we don't know whether some of them were involved in the attack that occurred. These were the decisions that led to what you're seeing and the danger that exists at the airport. This should not have happened. President Biden closing the Bagram Air Base. That's what's led to what's happening. So right now you have to ask, okay, what's the action we could take at this very last minute, which is most likely to get most Americans and most of our friends out of Afghanistan? That's a decision that the commanders on the ground are going to have to make. But the reality is, the fact that we're in this position is the result of bad decisions made by two administrations.
All right, guys, so that's Mitt Romney blaming Trump. And I look, you know, in a situation like this, right? You know, you would think that Romney would get away from trying to play politics, but see, the question that he was asked was about, you know, what would he do moving forward in regards to keeping troops there to get everybody out. And see, Mitt Romney doesn't have a real answer for that question, okay? He doesn't, because that honestly is not an easy question to answer considering what's currently going on, okay? So instead of taking on the question like a man, right, he decides to deflect the conversation to the blame game, where, again, he rightfully blames Biden, but then he goes and he blames Trump. And I got to ask, like, why? What is the point of bringing up Trump? What's the point, right? Like, again, if people think, oh, well, Trump's deal with the Taliban was so bad, blah, blah, blah. Okay, if you thought it was so bad, then Biden could have changed it, right? Matter of fact, he did, right? Instead of withdrawing earlier, he withdrew later, right? He wanted to try to withdraw on September 11th as some type of symbolic victory that really put us in a bad situation, okay? Trump had other plans, right? And his plans also were contingent. Biden just decided he was going to pull out no matter what. So there's nuance that separates the two. But Romney, instead of going into that nuance, it's Trump's fault too. It's Trump's fault. Trump has nothing to do with this. Biden didn't have to follow through on that. But you know what the reality is for people like Mitt Romney is that he's a part of the warmongering section of the Republican Party. The section of the Republican Party that wants us to stay in Afghanistan forever and basically make it a colony of the United States, right? A situation that perpetually puts our troops in danger, right? Under Trump, the agreement that Trump negotiated, we didn't lose any lives after he finalized that agreement. We haven't lost lives since what? February 2020 up into this, right? So it's been more than a whole year. No casualties in Afghanistan. Trump created that situation. Biden ruined that situation, right? I really do not believe if Trump was in office that this be happening like this under him. I don't. And if it was, I have no doubt in my mind that Trump will be handling it in a way that's better than Biden is right now, right? Trump would actually be trying to answer some questions. You might not like what he has to say, but he'd be answering. He wouldn't be turning his back on the media like this. But for whatever reason, again, you know, Romney has to go out here and try to blame Trump. As if Trump, again, he has nothing to do with it. Okay? He didn't have anything to do with it. So, I feel bad for these families. I really do. It doesn't feel like a great time in America right now, guys. I can definitely kind of feel and kind of the energy of people mourning across the country. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.